Thank you again. I want to talk to you a little bit today about some form of meditation. And look, I had the probably good fortune of meditating for a very long time before my diagnosis. And so my team used to laugh at me. I used to have my noise-cancelling headphones on, which you probably saw in the photos, and I would just completely zone out to everybody and all the emergency beepers that were going on all around me and meditate my way through chemotherapy. For me, it was an absolute lifesaver. And I feel so fortunate that I had that practice already that I could draw on, and the fact that it stayed with me during treatment. It was much harder after surgery. The anaesthetic really, I don't know, whether pain, whatever, there was a period there where it was much harder to meditate, and that was much more challenging. But I think one of the things we try to do in meditation is try and realise that there is a space between a stimulus, so something that happens to us or we think of, and our response to that stimulus. And so if we can slow that period down a little bit, we don't get that automatic negative thoughts, which we call ants. So, you see one ant and then suddenly there's 1,000 ants. That's a bit like the way those automatic negative thoughts work. So whatever meditation looks like for you, I think it's like so many things to do in the cancer treatment. There's no one size fits all. Find out what might work for you and what's right for you. For some people that is exercise, for some people it's music, some people it's being out in nature, sitting gazing at a tree, looking at a sunrise, looking at sunset. When I arrived after travelling up from Hobart yesterday, I hit the Cataract Gorge track straight away and just did an absolutely beautiful walk up there, and the sun was setting and it was just, magnificent, and for me that really sort of restores things. If anyone is interested, I have done some recordings that I actually did a long time ago for the University of Tasmania medical students, but they are freely available online, and BCNA have linked. So that story that was published in a medical journal about my cancer, I don't mind the word journey, but anyway, I recognise that some people don't like it. So about my story is on the BCNA story section, and there is a link there as well to meditations, both relaxation and mindfulness, and a quick 5-minute breath practice, which is what we're going to do today. But you can also just Google UTAS stress management package, and it should come up as well somewhere in there. So if you don't want to partake in the meditation, feel free to just take some time to just sit and to be. We're just going to do a very simple breath practice. So do whatever you need to do to get yourself comfortable. Stretch. I think we all have our probably favourite stretch, don't we? I was doing this before and someone said, oh yeah, that's my favourite one. You know what you need to do to just go, okay, if I'm going to sit for a couple of minutes quietly, I might just need to do something to look after myself before I do that. So one of the things about the breath is I say that it's always with us, no matter what's going on, no matter what chaos is happening. Okay, if we don't have a breath anymore, we don't really need to worry about the chaos that's going on in our lives. And the other thing we know about the breath is if we extend the period of time that we breathe out, we activate our parasympathetic nervous system, and that's the part of our nervous system that calms us down. So we're all well used to the sympathetic nervous system that really goes into overdrive when we're told whatever news that is the latest news of shock and disbelief. So when we're in that sort of drive and the tension and everything that Carrie was talking about, we tend to breathe up the top of our shoulders, our shoulders get to our ears, and we're walking around. But what we really want to try and do is focus on the out breaths. So when we breathe in, we want to extend our tummy outwards. So we want to give our lungs a lot more room to move. So you can imagine, we think of our lungs going up here, but actually they go all the way down. So we have this big thing, our diaphragm, that comes down. And so you want your tummy to come all the way out when you breathe in. And then when you breathe out, to help that get rid of all of the air. You almost want to suck your tummy in a little bit and help that sort of empty all the way out. So hopefully that's given you a tiny bit of ideas of what we're going to do. So if you're comfortable to rest your hands wherever they feel comfortable and gently close your eyes or look downward. But I'm just going to ask you just, I guess, to start to initially just pay attention to your breath. So realise that you're just here right now in this moment. And for a moment it's just you and your breath. So initially not trying to control it, not trying to do anything in particular, just taking a moment that's actually just for you, a moment where there's no more information that you need to try and digest, nothing else you have to do, no roles that you need to play, just a time and a space where you can find a moment just to be. And just to be in this moment, gently focusing on your breath. And as you come to focus on your breath, you might notice that as you breathe in and as you breathe out, there may be just the tiniest of spaces between when you breathe in and a short pause before you breathe out again. I would ask you just to be aware of this short pause. Even if it's just a second, it's a pause that exists, and you can bring your attention to it, and you can allow yourself to find some space, some comfort, some peace just in that moment. And then I'm going to ask you, in whatever way is comfortable for you, start to just gradually, once you've breathed in, on the out breath, just extend that breath a little bit more than you have been. Just allowing yourself to notice when you breathe in, notice that short pause, and then extending the breath out. Allowing it to be a place that you can just focus on, a moment in time where you can just rest. And now you can just congratulate yourself for taking that time, giving yourself a moment of peace. And a bit like exercise, something is better than nothing. So take a moment whenever you need it, a bit like those pelvic floor exercises, we're meant to do at every red light. At some point I find, at any other time I get into bed at night and do it as I'm going off to sleep. And pretty soon you're asleep, and if you wake up, the only good thing about being awake in the middle of the night is you can do a little bit more meditation. So thank you all, and it's been a lovely day.